Cullera? Stunning? That's what one person on Instagram scoffed at me. But beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and today I'm going to show you why Cullera is stunning to me. Located south of Valencia on the picturesque Mediterranean coast, this town offers a unique blend of history, culture, and natural beauty. Hi, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my channel, Travel to Money. In this video, we will explore the town of Cullera, check out the beachside, take a hike up to the castle, and wander the old streets. We'll take a look at what it would be like to stop here on a vacation to the Valencia area, and we'll also talk about what it would look like to live here, looking at home and rental prices, transportation options, and I'll share my thoughts about this charming town. Cullera is nestled along the southeastern coast of Spain, basking in the sunshine of the Valencia region. It's a delightful coastal escape located roughly 45 kilometers south of the city of Valencia, which is known for its historical center, vibrant nightlife, and paella. If you're familiar with my Spanish town of Pego, then you'll be happy to know that Cullera is just a short drive north, about 50 kilometers away. And if you haven't seen me talk about my town of Pego and the cheap homes that I was able to purchase there, be sure to subscribe to my channel and check those videos out next. So every time I fly into Valencia, Spain and head to my town of Pego, off in the distance of my drive, I'd see the word Cullera atop the mountainside, like the Hollywood sign in California. It's always been intriguing to me. At night, I could see the lit path up to the castle of Cullera. Finally, on my most recent trip to Spain, I went to visit this charming town. Cullera boasts a rich and layered history, stretching back centuries. Its story begins with the Romans, who recognized its strategic location and established a settlement. However, the town truly blossomed under the Moors, who ruled the region for centuries. They built the iconic Cullera Castle, initially a fortress which still stands proudly today and offers stunning views of the surrounding landscape. After the Christian Reconquista in the 13th century, Cullera transitioned into a thriving port and agricultural center. Its historical legacy is evident in the charming old town with its narrow, cobbled streets, ancient churches, and remnants of its medieval walls. Today, Cullera seamlessly blends its historical charm with its modern tourist infrastructure, offering visitors a unique blend of the past and present. Let's start by looking at Cullera as a day trip destination. I personally think it's perfect for this. If you visit outside of the touristy summer months, you'll find a quiet town, and you certainly won't have to battle any crowds. To me, this is the perfect environment for strolling around and visiting the tourist destinations like the castle. I first drove and parked near the beach area, walking for a bit along the waterfront. One thing that is important to note is that if you are visiting in a non-tourist season, although you won't have to fight crowds, it may be difficult to find open restaurants or cafes, so there is a trade-off. For me, this was fine because my friend and I had packed sandwiches for the day, but it should definitely be something to note and be prepared for. After strolling the beach area, we drove to the Old Town area to get closer to the pathway that would lead us up to the castle. Walking there would have been about 20 minutes from the beach, so it's all very walkable, but we just drove for convenience. After parking, we walked through some of the Old Town area. Like many Spanish towns, there are adorable streets. I noticed a few old abandoned homes. There would definitely be some opportunities for renovation projects, I'd imagine, but we'll get to home prices in a little bit. There was a very cool market space that wasn't open when we walked through, but from what I found online, it can really be a cool place to visit when it's open. After strolling the streets, we began the uphill climb to the castle. One of the things I love about many hikes in Spain is how you can enjoy the view throughout the hike, not just when you get to the top. The nice thing about an uphill walk like this too is that it's a gradual slope with a great walkway. Along the walk, you can see the Stations of the Cross off to the side of the walkway. As you climb, the views get better and better. Arriving at the top, on the day we were there, it was quite windy. There is a big open area in front of the church, and it looks like there's a cafe there, although I don't think it was open during the time that we visited. If you prefer not to walk up, there is a way to drive up on another side and park near the top. In order to tour the rest of the castle, you must be there during opening hours. To purchase a ticket is €3. Once inside the walls, I think it's well worth a visit to the museum. There were several different sets of artifacts, and you can read about the history of the area as you walk through the room. Descriptions were offered in both Spanish and English. While you are in the small museum, you may also sit down to enjoy a short film. Leaving the lower museum floor, there is more to be seen upstairs and as you walk along the castle walls into other rooms. The views from the castle over the city and out to the sea are incredible. I posted something on Instagram about the city of Cullera and how I thought it was stunning. That's when the person from Spain responded, Cullera? Stunning? And it just reminded me that all of us can take for granted the beauty around us if it just becomes our normal. I know for the Spanish, many small towns in Spain probably don't feel special to them because they've always had it. But I didn't grow up in a small town by the sea with a mountain and a castle. To me, that's beautiful. You know the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure? Beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder. Well, now let's chat about vacationing or moving to Cullera. Cullera has a population of about 20,000 people, which is twice the size of my little town of Pego. However, like I mentioned before, it seems to be one of those coastal towns that only really comes to life when the tourists are there. So, if you wanted a quiet, peaceful getaway, you could visit Cullera for a few days or for a week and have a lot of peace in the off season. The downside is that finding restaurants and cafes or anything open might prove to be more difficult. I decided to check the price of a week in Cullera in the month of April. There were multiple apartments able to house between 4 and 6 people for between $400 and $500 for the whole week. And many of these apartments overlooked the sea. You can also stay in the Old Town area for about the same price. Now, if you want to head to Cullera during the tourist season, the price for a week in a similar size apartment will run you between $700 and $900, nearly double just due to demand. Now, during this time of year, I'm sure Cullera feels alive and full of life like so many of the other coastal towns during the summer holiday season. It just depends on what you're looking for. Now, I don't think you're going to stay super busy in Cullera for a vacation. It's just a beautiful spot on the sea to relax, walk the old town, and definitely get some exercise by heading up to the castle a few times per week. Okay, now for those who are maybe interested in purchasing a home in Cullera to live or as a vacation home, let's talk about the pros and the cons. First, let's cover transportation. For a town that is physically pretty close to Valencia, there isn't a direct highway, so even though you're close on the map, it still takes a good 40 minutes to drive to Valencia. Although you can take a train to Cullera, there isn't a stop right at the town, so you have to ride a bus after getting off the train, although that's not the end of the world. In most towns this size, I would usually recommend buying a car or renting one if you will be there frequently. If you haven't seen my video about buying and maintaining a car in Spain, be sure to check that one out too. Okay, so what about buying properties in Cullera? If you take a look at idealista.com, they may start by feeding you images of $2 million penthouses on the beach. But fear not, my budget-minded friends, if you really need something on a budget, there are homes in need of at least cosmetic renovations starting in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. But if you can afford the $50,000 or $60,000 range, you can get something nice that is move-in ready. So comparing Cullera to a town like Pego, where I live for part of the year, I would say that the biggest difference is in local versus tourist culture. In Pego, it's not a tourist destination, so there is always life there, filling the restaurants and cafes with locals and expats who live in the area. I do personally think that the ghost town thing for me would not really be what I'm looking for, but the important thing is to spend time in a place to see what's right for you. Everyone is different. Just because I love Cullera doesn't necessarily mean that you will, and just because I love it for a day visit and a hike doesn't necessarily mean I'll be looking to buy properties there. I've had a few people on Instagram reach out and say that they purchased homes in Cullera, so if you are one of those people, tell us what you think in the comments. Has it been a ghost town in the off season, or does it meet your needs year round? I'd love to know and chat with you there. I hope this video has provided insight about Cullera. Do me a huge favor, like this video and subscribe to join me every day where travel and adventure build financial freedom. I can't wait to see where your dreams will take you.